But let's take a listen to what Christy or Stephanie White, not Stephanie Sides, said about Caitlin Clark. And if you guys agree with this, please subscribe. We are trying to get back. We're trying to get to, like, if we can get to 58,000 subscribers by the end of the finals, that would be insane. We're trying to hit 60,000 subscribers by the start of next year. That is the goal. And then we're pushing. We are pushing. We're not going to hit it, but we are pushing for 80k coming into, that's kind of the goal, pushing for 80k coming into the 2027 WNBA.
Stephanie White recently spoke out about Caitlin Clark's name repeatedly surfacing in CBA negotiations, despite Clark herself staying quiet. White's comments revealed not only her frustration with the situation but also the strong bond she shares with her star player, one built on mutual respect beyond basketball. Known for her calculated approach with the media, White often tailors her responses to protect her players rather than expose team dynamics. Reporters have noted that her statements sometimes serve more as a shield than a revelation. When asked about Clark being pulled into labor talks, White made it clear that the constant attention was unfair. She emphasized that Clark is just a 23-year-old athlete who wants to focus on her game, not off-court politics, highlighting her desire to keep basketball at the center of her life.
Into the 2027 WNBA season, then we're going for 100. The long game is the long game, lads. But anyway, let's take a listen right here.
Kind of getting brought into that, Caitlin Clark responding to it. What has been your overall assessment of that dialogue and as it relates to your star player?
Yeah, I mean, I hate it all for Caitlin. I feel like she's a 23-year-old kid who loves to play this game, who is a...
Coach Stephanie White emphasized that Caitlin Clark has unintentionally become a tool used by multiple parties to advance their own agendas. Her point carries weight. From the league office to the commissioner and other stakeholders, many have placed Clark at the center of ongoing CBA negotiations. Despite her on-court brilliance, Clark has been drawn into narratives she neither initiated nor supports. White expressed disappointment that her young star is being used in storylines beyond her control. She also acknowledged that the WNBA is facing growing pains as it evolves into a mainstream professional league. Reflecting on her own experience during the league's first collective bargaining agreement, when basic needs like year-round insurance were the focus, White stressed that today's players rightly deserve better pay and conditions.
She's a 23-year-old kid who loves to play this game, who is a pawn in a lot of other people's games.
I mean, she's not wrong. That includes the WNBA, and that includes the commissioner, includes everyone. Like, she is being used as a pawn by every single person in these talks. And she's just a very good basketball player.
A lot of other people's narratives, and I hate that for her. We're coming into a time in the WNBA where we're kind.
White stressed that league leadership must evolve to reflect the WNBA's current stature. Her words carry weight, as the league's treatment of players continues to warrant serious examination. Even critics who believe players' demands may be ambitious would agree that ownership has often failed to show proper respect for its athletes. This is especially true given that stars like Indiana's Caitlin Clark have been key in boosting the league's visibility and financial growth. White emphasized the need for leadership to understand both the league's position and the motivations behind player concerns. She also noted that coaches such as Becky Hammon, Noelle Quinn, and herself bring valuable insight, having once navigated the league as players themselves.
In the WNBA, where we're kind of part of the growing pains of becoming quote-unquote mainstream professional sport, is some of this stuff. I do think that we are at a pivotal moment in terms of the league's history. And look, I was a part of the very first collective bargaining agreement of the WNBA, where we wanted insurance all year long, to now where it is growing and players do deserve more, and leadership needs to reflect where we are as a league.
I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong at all. Like, I think everyone, like,
For coaches like White, the WNBA is far more than just a job. It's part of their identity. They've grown within the league, taking pride in its evolution and accomplishments. This deep connection gives them perspective on what real leadership requires. White explained that true leaders accept responsibility, drive progress, and don't just acknowledge participants but actively empower them, value their input, and recognize their worth. She emphasized that employees are any organization's greatest asset and concluded that the league now stands at a pivotal moment that demands thoughtful, decisive leadership.
She's not wrong at all. Like, I think everyone, like the league aren't respecting the players enough. I think even if you want to argue the players are expecting too much, and I think there's a very good argument to make that the players are expecting too much, even if you want to argue that, I think we can all agree that the owners do not respect the players as much as they should, considering the players are the reason. Especially one player in Indiana who is being talked about here is a big reason why, everything's booming and they're eventually going to make a profit.
White's remarks are difficult to challenge. Regardless of differing opinions about whether she's the perfect coaching fit for Caitlin Clark, her loyalty to the young star is undeniable. Even if the Clark-White partnership were to falter, potential trade options could emerge, perhaps involving a talented player in Dallas who might align better with White's system. Still, the goal is for this pairing to thrive. White's defense of Clark highlights her deep understanding of the player, far beyond what outside observers can perceive.
And also understand where we are as a league and where players' perspectives are coming from. And, we have coaches on the sidelines, and Becky Hammond and myself, and of course Noah Quinn, who was in Seattle, who played in this league. This league is part of our lifeblood. Like we have grown up in this league, and we take pride in this league and the success of this league, and we also take pride in understanding what needs to be done and in leadership. And part of leadership is taking accountability. Part of leadership is owning how we move the needle. Part of leadership is not just recognizing.
Clark's actions make it clear that she feels uneasy being used for promotional gain. When Unrivaled repeatedly invoked her name for marketing despite her lack of involvement, her discomfort was evident. After the league introduced wild card spots and hinted at talks with two players soon after Clark confirmed her focus on Team USA, her representatives quickly stated she wouldn't participate. These moments reveal her resistance to being used as leverage in negotiations. The contrast in Clark's reactions to various situations speaks volumes. When Nafisa Collier spoke out, Clark responded with genuine respect and agreement.
Not just recognizing the people who are part of this league, but empowering and embracing and understanding what they bring. And, your employees are your number one asset. And so I do feel like we're at a pivotal moment. I do feel like we're at a time where.
So yeah, obviously, look, I don't disagree with anything Stephanie White has said. Honestly, at this stage, when it comes to Stephanie White, like whether or not I believe that, she is the freaking, whether she is, the right coach for Caitlin Clark, just stylistically, give her.
Clark's response was notably restrained. She showed respect for Nafisa Collier and acknowledged that some of her points were valid but stopped short of fully agreeing or praising them all. Throughout the exchange, Clark's discomfort was evident. She clearly preferred to avoid these discussions altogether. When asked about Kathy Engelbert's remarks, she sidestepped the question entirely by mentioning Taylor Swift's new album before exiting the interview. The album itself, though divisive, is neither a masterpiece nor a failure. A solid mid-tier release rated around 6 out of 10. Clark's quick pivot underscored her wish to steer clear of controversy altogether.
Stylistically, give her a lifetime deal with the Indiana Fever. If Caitlin and her can't work it out, there's a player out in Dallas who could probably work it out with Stephanie White that you could get in a trade for Caitlin, and you could probably get another asset and you could probably get multiple assets and that player out in Dallas, and it could be a win-win. But obviously, ideally, it works out. But it is very clear. Also, I haven't shouted this out. This is on.
Clark faces constant pressure to comment on every issue, while other players can stay silent without backlash. A clear sign of unequal media treatment. When Alyssa Thomas declines to respond, it barely makes headlines. She's ranked only the 7th best forward. Jackie Young, rated the 12th best guard, receives similar indifference. The media's real fixation is Clark. Even her critics focus on her because she consistently drives attention and engagement.
National Basketball Association Commissioner Adam Silver and people start glancing in his direction that this is partially his fault, Engelbert is going to be out, and she's going to be out very quickly because people are starting to glance in Adam Silver's direction now. And you see this. This is The Athletic.
You can see this clearly in coverage from outlets like The Athletic. Unless Angel Reese stirs controversy or Sophie Cunningham makes a bold remark, few players attract comparable attention. Cunningham, in particular, has become a media favorite because her outspoken comments reliably make headlines, reflecting both White's perspective and the broader issue of Clark's unwilling involvement in CBA debates. Meanwhile, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's situation appears increasingly precarious. Growing signs suggest her tenure could end abruptly, especially after Nafisa Collier's recent remarks, which appeared to speak for Caitlin Clark without her consent, sparking fresh waves of controversy across the league.
By the way, The Athletic, owned by the New York Times. Yikes. Yikes. The pressure is officially on. It's officially hitting a boiling point. Kathy Engelbert is not the WNBA's future. Look at the rest of this headline. Soon, the commish may not even be its present. It's a wrap. It is a wrap.
When Clark herself hints at the need for new leadership, it's a clear sign of what's coming. More importantly, attention is now turning toward NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, with many questioning his involvement in the unfolding crisis. Once Silver is drawn into the controversy, Engelbert's exit seems almost certain. Mounting pressure will demand decisive action. A recent Athletic report published under the New York Times umbrella underscores the gravity of the moment, delivering a particularly damning evaluation of the situation.
Of anonymity, because they were not authorized to speak publicly, said that they think this might accelerate change that was already coming. So she was already out. This is about to speed it up. Some agree with the sentiment made by the public, made public by Collier and supported by fellow stars. And at least a few of the owners who also have NBA franchises, so powerful owners, are among those who...
Collier's remarks exposed that during 6 years of leadership, Engelbert failed to build genuine support from either players or owners. This lack of loyalty on both sides is ultimately damaging. Multiple sources cite her weak interpersonal skills as a core issue. Accessibility and communication have been ongoing challenges, crucial shortcomings in a league defined by social awareness and the need for strong, sensitive leadership during critical moments.